Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome to another Tag Tuesday. I hope everyone who celebrates Christmas had a good Christmas. It is Boxing Day here in Canada, so happy Boxing Day to my fellow Canadians. Today I am going to be doing the So What Did You Learn book tag. This tag was originally created by Danni at Danni Dabbles, who has a lovely channel. She is delightful. And this is Danni's first original tag, and she was kind enough to tag me in it. And it's also a really good tag for, the end of the year, beginning of the year, kind of to look back and reflect on your reading. So there are just a few prompts for this, so let's get started. The first prompt is to name something about your reading that you've learned you love. So this is probably, I would say, more of an affirmation of something that I kind of knew before, but it was really solidified this year. And that is, I love stories with quirky characters. At one point this year, I was doing a buddy read with Kristin from Enter the Book, and I realized that I was loving the character in the book because she was quirky, and it was Britt was here by Fredrik Backman. Britt is socially awkward. She has, some strange habits, and she likes things certain ways. She's quirky, but that's, what I love about her. And I had just finished The Maid by Nita Prose with kind of a similar type of character. And when I look back, I realize that these books with, these types of characters often get 5-star ratings for me because I enjoy the characters so much. Another one that I read probably about a year or two ago now would be Eleanor, Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail, Honeyman. So if you've read any of those, then you'll kind of know the kind of character that I'm talking about. Number 2 is to name something about your reading that you've learned you hate. Well, hate is a very strong word that I rarely use, but something that I've learned I dislike, or it just doesn't work for me, is fantasy or sci-fi books. I try. In 2022, I read Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, which I actually ended up liking way more than I thought that I would. I read Piranesi by Suzanna Clarke, which had a lot in it that I liked, but it was overall just okay. And I also got through Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, but I struggled more than I thought that I would, and I DNF'd, everyone knows, I DNF'd The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. And I really think it's a situation where it's not the books, it's me. And this year, whenever I tried a fantasy book, I either DNF'd, or I guess last year, I got a low rating even when everyone else seemed to love it. So I think I just have a really hard time always going into other worlds like that and really feeling like I'm part of it. So this doesn't mean that I will, won't try every once in a while, but I think that it has just affirmed for me that fantasy is really not my genre. So number 3 is to name something about your reading that you've changed your mind on. Well, I don't know if this is exactly what this is asking, but the first thing that came to mind is that throughout the year there were probably about 4, maybe 5 books that I changed my ratings on. There were a couple that were higher ratings that, and I don't remember them all, but I know I changed Lesser Known Monsters of the 21st Century by Kim Fu. I changed that from a 4-star to a 5-star because I kept thinking about it, and the more that I thought about it, the more impressed I was by the writing and what the author was trying to do in that short story collection. I also rated a couple of books lower. I think H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. I started as a 4, and then I lowered it to a 3. And I think I just wanted it to enjoy it so badly, and when I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, I felt like maybe it was me, that I was the problem. And then I realized that even if it was me, I didn't enjoy it as much as a 4-star, and that the rating needed to reflect that. So I definitely changed my mind on a few books this year. The next prompt is to name something about your reading that you've learned helps you pick better books. So I really like this prompt. It's made me think a bit. I always try to pick books that I'm going to, enjoy. But sometimes you don't know until you're into it. And I think learning what I love in a book and seeking that out is helpful. So whether that's the themes or the characters or just types of stories. And I think also sticking with favorite authors before branching out is helpful too. And then finding similar authors to the well-established authors is also helpful. I hope that makes sense. Prompt number 5 is name something about your reading that has prevented your enjoyment of reading. For this, I will say that when I commit to too much and it no longer feels like I'm reading for fun, but reading because I have to, that definitely takes the enjoyment out of it for me. And the final prompt is to name something about your reading that has improved your enjoyment of reading. Yeah, well, BookTube definitely does that for me. The interaction with others, the book recommendations of books that I, wouldn't know about otherwise, or I might not pick up. And then just finding some hidden gems in those. I love that. And I also enjoy doing buddy reads once in a while and just having people to actually talk about the books while you're reading them. Sometimes when I buddy read, the book is even more enjoyable than it would have been had I read it on my own. So those are the prompts for the So What Did You Learn book tag. And I'm going to tag a few people to try this tag and reflect back on their reading year. And I'm going to tag Kim from Middle of the Book March. I'm going to tag Anne from Anne Novella. Jim from Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. I'm going to tag Fraser from Fraser Simon's Springboard Thought. And I think I'm also going to tag Jack from Spread Book Joy. These are all great channels, and I'd love to hear, what you've learned over the past year in your reading in 2022. Thanks again to Danni for tagging me and for creating this original tag. This was a lot of fun. And thanks all of you for watching. Please let me know, what did you learn this year? What have you loved? What have you not loved? And maybe tell me about what changed your mind. Did you change your mind on anything? I'd love to hear all about it, and I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.